Just getting my coffee as always, guys, and then we will get things started. All right. Whew. Almost didn't click over there for a minute. Almost just started the stream and started talking and didn't even have everything going. So yeah. What's up? It is time for another episode. Wow. These episodes are just flying by, and it's making me feel like just time is going crazy fast now. So it's time for another episode. It's Tuesday. It's time for another episode. Obviously, I got my coffee. I'm ready to go. Um, did not have much planned for today's stream. Unfortunately, I know there was supposed to be game a gameplay kind of reveal for Blood of the Dawnwalker, and I don't think that actually is happening today. So we're supposed to do like a live react to that, and that didn't. That's I don't think it's happening. Hey, what's going on, JT? How you doing, man? Just wanted to just wanted to make sure my audio was going all right here. How's everything doing today, man? So yeah, I got a little bit of topics we could talk about today. Nothing too crazy because again, at noon, I thought we were going to be reacting to a kind of like a gameplay reveal thing, but I guess they're not doing it until, from what the looks of it are, we're not going to get it until June. So I believe it's going to be, yeah, I believe the Blood of the Dawnwalker event is going to be June 21st. So it's actually going to be pushed. It's next month now. So originally we were going to do some reacting to that, but it didn't exactly happen. So I don't know. We will circle back around to June and then we'll react to the Blood of the Dawn Marker stuff when that comes. So kind of blew my plans for today's stream kind of up a little bit. So we're going to talk a little bit about a game that I got a little overly obsessed with called NTE Neverness to Everness. That name is possibly one of the worst names for a video game ever. Yeah, it's a horrible name for a video game, but we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I'm going to talk a little bit about some more serious stuff, um, like the crazy stuff going on with YouTube's mass demonetization that's been going on lately. Maybe touch a little bit about that. And free comic book day. And like I said in my title, did anyone actually care? And see what other people kind of did for free comic book day, if you guys did anything for free comic book day, because it seems like it's less and less of a thing each year that goes on, and the offerings are getting more and more sparse. So we'll talk a little bit about that stuff today. As I said, very very slim pickings today. I kind of again had one plan and it shot off for something else. So good news is we do have some figures to talk about. There's always anime stuff to talk about. There's always nerd stuff to talk about, man. Um, let's talk more about let's talk more about your plans. Basement updates, any new haul videos, when can we make room tours? Yeah, when I make money, um, I'll probably have my basement done. Until that, or maybe I get a second job. I'll be able to do all that stuff. But until I either make money doing this or stop doing this and get a second job to afford doing that, probably not gonna happen. Obviously, you guys know from last week, I did kind of have a rough week. I lost somebody. Obviously, I talked about it a little bit last week, and just more recently found out actually what had happened, a little bit more details, and it made things just a lot worse. So, content was kind of slowed to a halt this past week. I didn't really make any videos. Um, hey, what's up, Loud Boys? It is. That's right. I forgot to wear my cultural appropriation hat and Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Um, I'm gonna go get some Taco Bell after this is over, so that's gonna be me celebrating. Thank you for lightening it up, Loud Boys. Appreciate it. I was just about to get into something a little kind of sad, so thank you for bringing that up, man. Um, but yeah, I obviously, like I said last week, content slowed down because I did lose somebody that I was getting very close with. I'll say, and it was kind of a shock to me because again, I've never had somebody pass that was like somebody I did date or was dating, ever. So, um, no, I did not. So your birthday is on Cinco de Mayo. All right. You gotta give Loud Boy here a happy birthday, everyone. Good people, good people, good people. Always here, always chatting, always having a good time. Happy birthday and happy Cinco de Mayo if you're celebrating it. Have extra drinks. Extra drinks for you. Shout out. Hopefully you enjoy it today. I appreciate you coming in today here with us and just talking nerdy stuff. Um, we're definitely going to talk about NTE later on though, because ooh, I got things to say about it. I got things to say, and whew, I'm a little obsessed. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened, this week. Obviously, again, I kind of slowed down to a crawl with content just because of things that were going on, here. But when you lose people, it kind of sometimes it kind of messes with you, and it kind of put me in a little bit of a slump. But yeah, I wanted to come on today. Obviously, I didn't want to delay the stream. I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to cancel the stream. So we're here. I didn't stream yesterday just because yesterday, obviously, I kind of found out some of the details of what happened, and I just up here wasn't really in a state to really stream. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just sit home and play NTE on my phone in my bed. So, well, yeah, we're good today. We're good today. I might actually do a second stream today and stream some games after this is over. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing good today and are ready to just kind of talk nerdy. If you guys have any kind of topics are in your heads that you guys want to talk about afterwards, drop them down in the chat. I'll look through them. If I need something I got to research, I'll research it while we're going over some figures, and we'll go by there. But for right now, it's just going to be NTE Free Comic Book Day, and it's kind of lacklusterness, and talk a little bit about the YouTube demonetization nonsense that's been going on lately. Maybe I did put it in the title because it's a pretty big deal and maybe a little bit about the stuff with Sony and their digital purchasing licenses and the kind of way they some people interpret it as backtracking, but some people interpret it as just the internet took it and ran and kind of overblew it before they knew what was going on. So it's kind of a up in the air kind of situation. But yeah, like I said, there is not a lot for channel wise to go and catch you guys up on. I am supposed to go see the Reincarnated as a Slime movie uh Friday, I think. I was supposed to. I was supposed to take the kiddo to go see it, but she's performing in a school concert on Friday, so we might be able to see it Friday night. So I'm gonna try to see it on Friday. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Reincarnated as Slime is always a good time. But it's good to see anime movies doing so well because not a lot of other stuff is. So, speaking of anime, why don't we get into some figures and get into some stuff and kind of get them out of the way while we can, right? I always like to start off kind of warming things up and then rolling into our collectibles of the week. So obviously, this last week I did actually do a full 5 figure week and have been doing some more gaming clips, and they've actually been performing pretty good. So we're gonna probably get some more gaming content out of the channel because it's kind of what it's been bringing more viewers in. So we'll see what happens. But no, I've only watched season 4 of Slime. I only watched like 2 episodes, I think, of it. I've rewatched the latest My Hero episode probably like 8 times because it was just so short and sweet, and I was bummed. um, New One Piece live action, or is it the Netflix anime remake? Sorry, so you guys, I'm responding obviously to these messages right here. Uh, season 4. So I just want to make sure people obviously watching know what I'm responding to here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a huge One Piece guy. I like the live action, but I'm not a fan of the anime or the manga. So is it the continuing series that's coming next year, or are you talking about the new? From what I understood, Netflix is going to be remaking the series, I guess, even though it's not done yet. I don't know. I don't. If it's the same art style, I'm probably not going to care. That's one of the things I don't like. Dude, the new My Hero episode, we'll talk about that after. But My Hero actually does bring me into the figures from this week because we started out the week with an incredible piece. And you know what? We're going to segue right into that. So for My Hero Monday, guys, it's the boy in all his glory. It was Hawks. So that was a good segue into the figures this week. This piece is an absolute banger. This is the Kotobukiya Artifacts J Hawks. And oh my God, I love this piece so much. And I did slow the video down a little bit so you guys can actually see it a little bit clearer than the rapid fire, TikTok version. This was one of the newer figures, I should say, that released with the version 2s of all the other ones, right? So this series launched a more dynamic Kotobukiya Artifacts J series where we got them in dynamic poses with cooler bases and things like that. So we had Deku, we had Bakugo, we had Todoroki, we had Ochako, and of course we got a new character in the mix was Hawks. And dude, this Hawks did not disappoint. He is massive. I think, no lie, he's about this tall with his wings out. It's huge. I reviewed him and unboxed him on the channel early on in the channel days, and I was blown away with how impressive he looked. Every detail on this figure is gorgeous. The glasses, the face, I mean, everything just came out so good. It just, it's one of those ones that you look at and it's like, how could they do any better than this? And you don't really see that as often in the collectibles market. You're always like, maybe they could change this or we could tweak that. But this thing, just with the massive wingspan he's got alone, it just gives it such a presence. I mean, the detail in all the clothing, the folds, the fluff, even the details on his blade, the feather blade, with all the little individual feathers that come off of it, looks so incredible. Guys, it's amazing. And I know they're redoing the Kotobukiya artifacts again with a third version of some of the characters. We've already gotten Bakugo and Todoroki announced. I know there is a Deku with Eri on his back. I know there is a Dark Deku coming out as well. So this line is going to keep on going. I just wish we would get more villains in the line. It seems like we do a couple and then we switch over to a new line or we make a third version. Instead of making a third version of Deku and Bakugo and Todoroki, I would like to see a more revitalized Shigaraki, a revitalized Dabi, a revitalized Toga in this style with the more dynamic poses than what we got with their earlier on offerings, which were very, very bland, and I skipped those ones. But you guys are Hawks fans. This is probably one of the most badass Hawk pieces that you can get. He's still retail or less, I'm gonna say. Retail or less. I don't know what he's priced at around now, but for the most part, he's been pretty much hovering at retail there. So definitely one that I recommend you checking out, especially like I said, if you're a Hawks fan. This thing is under $200 at retail, and it is one I highly, highly recommend. So let's see. I'm gonna catch up with the chat real quick. With the One Punch adaptation. Yeah, I don't really know about One Punch Man. I'm not really. I kind of fell off with One Punch. I thought it was fun for a season, and then I stopped. I don't know. It had the Bleach effect to me. Bleach was one I really loved back in the day, and I think I lasted a season or two and checked out. I don't know what it is, but certain shows just don't grab me like they grab everybody else. But then I'll gravitate to some stuff nobody else likes. So that's the best part about anime, man, is it's got such a wide net that everyone doesn't have to like everything, be stuck watching the same thing. Um, did not do a Twin Tuesday this week. Yeah, because that was actually the day where, kind of had a rough time. So we did not do a Twin Tuesday, but We switched over to a little bit of video game slash anime and manga for Waifu Wednesday. Of course, to the Good Smile Company pop-up parade line. Persona 5. We got my girl, Makoto, aka Queen, the Queen of Persona 5. She is the best waifu in Persona 5. Don't care what you guys say. She is it. Makoto is the girl, and this is obviously her Good Smile pop-up parade figure. It is freaking awesome. And as you can see from this video, my camera was not cooperating with me that day. And again, I was just not in the mood. I was not having it last week just because of everything going on. I filmed it once and said, all right, that's it. We're good. We're posting it. And you can see it definitely had a little bit more of a wonky quality. And it, you know, it still does the job. It shows you. I did do a decent enough job showing how beautiful this piece is. But again, this reinforces me and my love for the Good Smile Pop-Up Parade series. They are very, very good-looking, budget-friendly pieces when they're the standard size Pop-Up Parade. When you get into the larger ones, they're not such good budget-friendly ones. No, I didn't hear the new song. No, I haven't looked into it yet. Like I said, it's been kind of crazy here the past week, so I'm a little slacking, a little behind on a lot of things this week. I know my girls and Baby Monster released a new single and a new album, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, I know. I'm a K-pop guy too. I know. Mid 40s guy into K-pop. Yeah, okay. But no. But yeah, one thing I do like about this figure is that you know, and strangely enough, all these Persona Pop-Up Parade figures are all on one leg. It is a thing I noticed. Queen is that way, Joker's that way, and so is Crow. I think Panther and Futaba are that way as well. I haven't unboxed those two yet, so I'm not sure, but I think they're both on one leg as well. So it's fun, but it adds a little bit more dynamicness to the poses and stuff like that, and I like it, especially because they're actually sturdy. They aren't wobbly. And again, this is the older style of Pop-Up Parade because you can see from the hex bases that they do there that can kind of all connect together. I like it. A lot of people hate it, but I think at least having the connectivity of the bases gives you a little something more than your standard crappy circle bases. But that's just my opinion of it. I know they're a little bit bigger. They should be smaller, but to each their own. Oh, well, it's probably why they got rid of them. I know a lot of the newer ones do the circle bases now, but yeah, you can't connect circle bases together. You can connect the hex bases together. So I think they should have went with a smaller hex base rather than the small circle base that we get now. Do a small hex so the figures can all still kind of come together in a display. But obviously, she's a gorgeous piece. It's Persona. I love Persona. You can see right here, I've got my Persona 4 shelf kind of back here with all these Sega prize figures that are now very, very hard to find. Obviously, these things were absolutely gorgeous, and now they go for an insane amount of money. But again, these were just basic Sega prize figures. And I mean, the bases on these things were not very shelf friendly, let's just say. These things all had these crazy things. And they did link together, but again, it takes up a lot of real estate on your shelf. So if you guys are looking for really cool, budget friendly Persona figures, obviously from Persona 5, the pop up parades are the ones to do. And other than that, we haven't really gotten any budget-friendly Persona 5 figures. We've gotten some very expensive ones, but nothing really for those people who don't have $300 or $400 to spend on a figure. So that's one of the things I always say is I like figures that everyone can afford. I get asked all the time, why don't you buy this $400 figure and review this $500 figure? Or why don't you buy these giant, six, seven, $800, Prism Wing figures and things like that? And it's like, because I can't really afford all those. So, I like showing off ones that look really, really good for people that have a budget, can still pick up and buy. Things that aren't going to deter people as much. So that's why I like to cover a different variety of things. I mean, over here and upstairs in my storage, I have tons of five, six, $300 to $600 pieces. And I just haven't unboxed them yet. I don't have space for them yet. That's what I've been trying to renovate and do things. Like I said, I just picked up two more shelves. So I've got to go and put those together in my dining room area because my dining room area is now full of shelves. And once I get those reassembled and put in there, we'll have room for more bigger pieces. I have two large sideshow collectibles pieces that I have to unbox. I one quarter scale bunny girl I still have left to unbox, which is Power from Chainsaw Man. Um, but yeah, I like to review, and I know it probably doesn't do well for my channel, but I like to review pieces that everybody can afford. I like to show up pieces that everyone can afford. Because then when people ask me where I can buy it or do you have a link to buy it, they're not going to a link or a site that's an $800 figure or a $300 figure or a $500 figure. I like to kind of have a little bit of variety in there. So I do some more expensive Kuji figures and things like that. But I know my channel's become more of a budget friendly focus. And, I get a lot of people telling me, like, I like that you do that, but then I get a lot of people nitpicking and telling me I should be reviewing more expensive things. Oh, so you're a Gundam person. Okay, see, I don't do Gundam. I'm not a Gundam fan. I always thought Gundam was I don't know. I never liked Gundam growing up, but their designs fascinate me. And I have friends that do build Gundams, and I'm like, dude, that's a daunting task. But they look so cool when you customize them. So I can see where the obsession is there 100%. Oh, and I think he's gone now, but JT's always talking about slime. He's not in the chat anymore, I don't think. But we brought back our boy Rimuru for Reincarnate on that Thursday. And one of my favorite Rimuru prize figures. Of course, this is the Otherworlder Plus Rimuru. Now, I know there are several Otherworlder Plus Rimurus, but this one happens to be my favorite because it has a really, really awesome dynamic base. We don't get enough of this. Most prize figures have a black base and a black post sticking into their butt or the back of their leg or something like that, holding them up. This one right here, I appreciate the hell out of the little extra effort they put in by giving us a blue circular base. But instead of having the obnoxious black post coming up it, they actually made a slime trail up and plug into his booty as the base. I love that. It's just a little tiny detail, but it shows they went that extra mile and gave us something that most prize figures don't give us. Even the other prize figures in these other World Alliance don't do it. Let's see. I think I have one right here. I have Gobta right here. Here he is. Same series. Otherworlder series. Black base. Black thing going right up into his booty. I mean, at least with the Gobta, they did do like a little kind of flare to the base, but nothing cool. Nothing like that Rimuru at all. So it's kind of funny how they just picked one random Rimuru. Put him down there before I drop him. Yeah, one random Rimuru to do that, and I just whew, lost my chair cover. It got cold. um, yeah, it's crazy how differently they do the prize figures, right? To where some of them have the lazy black base, some of them just go a little tiny extra mile. this didn't take too long, I'm sure, to mold this, right? Because you were molding a post already. You were molding a base already. Making it blue just adds the flair to it. People always mistake this for a higher end piece. They mistake it for a Kuji figure, and it's not. It's just a basic $25 prize figure, and it looks freaking awesome. It has such a cool presence to it. He stands out. His wingspan is really good. He's actually in an action pose. He's got the sword out. All of it is there. Everything you'd want from a Rimmer piece is there, and it is at an extremely, extremely affordable, budget-friendly value. And I cannot stress that enough with these. I know I say that a lot. People, like I said, I was just saying earlier, people always tell me, like, oh my God, why do you shill for all these cheap figures? Oh my God, it's just a cheap figure. I love that I can get a beautiful piece for a low price. And I say the same thing about my bunny girls. I stopped doing the large quarter scale bunny girls because they're $300 to $500 a piece. Where I can spend $30 on buy cute bunnies, which are, half the size maybe, sometimes not even, sometimes there are bigger than half the size, for a tenth of the price. If I can show somebody a great piece for a way better value, I would rather show that off than brag about expensive fancy pieces. So, yes, this is a very, very cheap Rimuru. It is, again, 25-ish dollars. You could still get them for about that price or less now. So if you are looking for a really, really cool Rimuru, I recommend checking out the Otherworlder Plus line, as well as the other, I believe their Otherworlder Plus as well. It's Rimuru, Diablo, and Malim. And they have different colored bases. Rimuru's is blue, Diablo's is purple, and Malim's is pink. And they're elevated up in these, in the air, and they've got their wings out, each one of them. And Rimuru has two different versions, a masked and an unmasked. Diablo's got, I believe, two versions now, and Malim also has a second version as well that is released with her giving like a, a fireball type effect coming out of her hand. They're Otherworlder Plus as well. They're really, really awesome. And again, they're like 25 bucks. So if you want really cool, affordable slime figures, they're out there. It's just they haven't been putting many out lately. So hopefully with the new movie and the new season, we start seeing some more slime figures because there's been a little bit of a drought lately and it's kind of sad. Like, I love my slime figures, man. But reprinting the same figures kind of sucks, and they've been doing that quite a bit lately. And yeah, I don't know. It kind of it's like I said, it's kind of a bummer to me. I think the only thing we've been really getting is Kuji figures lately, and it's like that's awesome. Yes, 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 so much yes right here. This right here. Shion is best girl. Yes, she is in slime. Yes, 100%. I have her giant bunny girl, and I still think it's absolutely amazing. She's huge, and her presence is definitely felt on your shelf. Shion is amazing, and no spoilers for people who haven't seen Reincarnated Slime ever, but oh man, there were some gut wrenching parts in that series. Oh, with Shion, and man, oh, I almost rage quit the series a couple times because of her. That way, dude, I'd love to go to Japan. I missed the trip this year. Um, I missed the cutoff for booking the tickets. I was gonna go, but I was trying to wait until tax returns came, and it didn't happen. So yeah, I was gonna go on like one of those group trips that another YouTuber was running, but they did 80 tickets and they sold out super fast. So I didn't get my in, but I will go eventually. I wanted to go this year, but finances aren't really there. So I'm hoping that next year I might be able to do it. Maybe I'll just meet a girl who lives in Japan and That is one of my dreams. I definitely want to go visit Japan. I see some other YouTubers going out there and buying a bunch of figures, and I'm just like, man, I'm so jealous of you right now. But yeah, that is like my holy grail trip. Maybe if I stop spending money on figures and video games for a year, I could fund a trip to Japan. Oh man, oh that would be so good. That would be I would never want to come home. I would want to just I don't care. I'd go be homeless in Japan. I would just I'd probably fall in love day one. Oh man, it would be good. But let me just check here real quick. Checking on somebody sent me a little bit of a news story here, and I just wanted to check and see if this is something we're gonna want to talk about. I don't know if that's gonna be something we're gonna really want to talk about. Mm, no, okay, yeah, it's more just rumor stuff. Sorry, I'm just doing a little quick research here. Looks like it's all just rumors. Okay. Those again, just wanted to make sure before I do anything. I don't want to talk about anything if it's just rumors. So yeah, we're not going to do that. um. So, well, actually, not the last figure of the week, but for Figure Friday, I brought another Kotobukiya piece out, and this one is an absolute banger. And surprisingly, here on YouTube, it didn't really get many views. I'm shocked because I always think Trigun's really, really popular, but apparently it isn't really that much anymore. This is the first edition. This has been reprinted twice now. This is the first edition Vash the Stampede from Kotobukiya. Again, it's another of the uh, Artifact J series that I sing the praises of a lot. And this thing has so much going on for it. Like, from the really stylized base that it's got on it to all just the details of the different materials of Vash's outfit, like the different shine to the coat, the different way all the materials look, the way the coat actually hugs his waist. This thing is phenomenal. I absolutely love this. And people ask me where I got it all the time. Honestly, I bought this from a comic book store that was going out of business, and I got it for like $20. So that was a steal back when I bought it. It was brand new, sealed in the box, came with the little bonus cap, all of that, and I don't even regret it. I'll never regret it because I didn't pay much for it, but I wouldn't have regretted paying full price for this. It is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot say enough good things about it. And there is a companion piece to it. It is. I'm trying to let me look it up. It is. It's not that one. They have ones for Badlands Rumble too. Um, I didn't watch that yet. I mean, not for that. The newer one. Stampede, I think it was. No, not Stampede. What the heck was it called? The new series. Was it Badlands Rumble? It might have been. Okay, yeah. So they had a companion piece, which of course was Wolfwood. And they've actually reprinted him several times too. So when you display them together, they're actually like shooting their guns, they're facing their guns at each other. And Wolfwood is one I didn't get, and I didn't get his re-release either. I was very bummed that I didn't get it, but it was hard for me to pull the trigger, no pun intended, when I paid so little for Vash. And I'm like, I can't pay $200 for Wolfwood. Like, I can't do it. And I couldn't talk myself into buying it. And now, of course, it's way more expensive. he runs around $350 now in the aftermarket. So yeah, I can't obviously do that. He launched. They have a newer version too, and those are already sold out. They did the Trigun Stampede version. That's what it was. Yeah, all right. It wasn't Battle Engine Rumble, Stampede. Okay, and that's what the new animation style. I don't like the way the new Trigun looks. Um, but everyone's got their own opinion on it. But I'm not a huge fan of it. But this one is just so awesome. They did make the original launch, like with this one, they did make a black variant Vash, which is really, really cool. And he had like blue kind of accents all over him. Thing looked so rad. Man, I wish I could have gotten my hands on that one too, because it looked so cool. Like I said, I'm not a fan of red, but dude, Vash, my boy, pulls it off. All right. Freaking awesome. And yes, Trigun. Trigun is goated. I love Trigun. It's I hate saying it, but it's Trigun's up there with Cowboy Bebop for me. And I know that is a take not a lot of people want to hear, but I think I've rewatched Trigun more than I've rewatched Bebop. So yeah, I don't know. I just something about Trigun and just the goofiness and the silliness. I adored it. Same thing with the other series that came, Gunsword. That was an awesome series as well. Gun X Sword, whatever people call it. Yeah, man. With this piece, I can't say pay the aftermarket value for them because I never condone people to up pay for them. But oh, this is a really really cool one, guys. Maybe just wait for a third reprinting for it. I don't know, but if you guys can find this one for the right price, I highly highly recommend it because it is such a cool freaking piece. Nice. That's actually pretty awesome. I always enter giveaways and I never win anything. It's super depressing. I wanted to win like the Miku PC, all kinds of that. Man, I never have that luck. So good for you. Good for you. Let's see. Let's go to the final figure of the week before we get into some more nerd talk. Went back to Sword Art Online for Sword Art Saga to one I have never actually shown because it's one of the few newer Sword Art pieces that come out. Of course, we went back to my girl Asuna for what's called the Figurism Alpha. Now, I just call this ice skating Asuna because she looks like she's figure skating. Um, I bought it on impulse because it was a new Asuna and I was excited because we were getting a new sword art piece. The final design of it on hand, obviously, my first thing is going to be I hate that huge white base. Absolutely hate it. And being a Sega Figurism series, shocked me that we got something that big and bland and boring. Because normally their figures and pieces have very, very good bases. I think the only one that didn't was the Barefoot Goja, which has the freaking massive base as well. But usually their figurisms have really dynamic, cool piece like bases. I get they put the little blue kind of, effects going off of it, but that's still a lame cop out. It is my only nitpick really about the piece. I think it's a gorgeous representation of Asuna, and it's from the what was the movie called? It was the Progressive movie. Was it um it wasn't Ordinal Scale. I think was it Aria? The Deep Night. I forget how you pronounce the actual first part of the movie. Is it Schizo or something like that? I forget how you pronounce it. But yeah, this is from that movie. Um, I I love the costume and I love the fit for Asuna from this one. I I'm not really a huge fan of the pose though. And that's another one of the problems I don't like is I don't know where they were going with this. I get they were trying to do an action pose, make it a little bit more dynamic, but I think this would have worked a little bit better if she was stabbing forward, maybe like she was doing like a lunging thrust, maybe. I think that would have looked a little bit better rather than she's swinging her arm out, both her arms out. Like I said, she looks she's figure skating. I think if you were having her look straight ahead and having the arm forward with the sword like going forward, like she's lunging forward for an attack, I think that would have made this piece a little bit better. But then again, if she had a leg going back and the sword going forward, it would have taken up that much more real estate on a shelf. So I guess you're gonna lose either way. But I mean, I'm gonna just say I'm happy we got a new sword art figure because we don't get enough. It's like they just forgot about sword art. So seeing Sega kind of pick it up and go, guys, we're gonna give you a new Asuna, made me happy. Again, it wasn't what I wanted, and it's probably besides Barefoot Gojo, it's probably my least impressive figurism by Sega, and I don't say that very often. I think there's only two times I've said it. That's with Barefoot Gojo and this. It's like it leaves something to be desired. I don't know. Again, it's the base, it's the pose. It's a little off, but the sculpt and the details are there. It's just the other choices they made with it kind of make me scratch my head and be like, what? So I don't know. I mean, it could just be me. It could be because I have so many really cool asanas that I absolutely adore. But I love that it is again just like you're saying right there, different clothing designs and weapons. I like that we get a different suit for Asuna in this figure, and we have a different sword for Asuna in this figure. Again, I say that all the time. I love different looks, different poses, different fits for the characters in my collection. I think it makes, and again, I know beating a dead horse, I say this all the time, but I think having different costumes, different posing, things like that, different sizes, spices up your display. It adds variety to your display. It makes specific pieces draw attention by to certain people, right? People look at a shelf and they'll be like, "Oh my God, look at that!" Because there'll be a different pose or a different costume. You have a Miku shelf and you have a Miku in a nurse uniform or a maid uniform, and it's like instantly you don't zero in on, "Hey, look at all those Mikus in her basic costume." You look at it, you go, "Hey, there's a different one," and that's kind of one of those things. Um, Again, I love sword art, so I really can't hate on the piece too much, especially for the price range. It was only 19.99. So I can't really complain. She is a pretty big piece compared to other sword art figures, especially ones in that price range. So I think this one you can normally get her for around $20 or $25. She's still very, very much affordable. Let's see. And I don't think they actually have any other ones other than that. I was hoping that maybe we're gonna get a Kirito or something like that to go with it, but yeah, we don't. This is literally the only one we got. Sword Art Progressive Asuna. And I mean, again, she's very cheap. She's very affordable. Looks like most places are charging 25 bucks for her now. Still not bad. So you can obviously get it for a decent price. And I can't really say that about many prize figures because a lot of prize figures are going for almost $40 now. So I always say if you can get it, get it. Yes, I did. I did. I definitely did see the new Sword Art trailer. Is there another trailer or is it just the one trailer? I've seen one. And that's when is that coming out? I believe it's coming out this year, right? Uh, there hasn't been one for quite a while. Right here, Sword Art Online anime teases new film in production. Yeah, because we had the concert. We had Yuna's day, like she actually had a concert, like the VTube model or whatever, not the VTube model, but like the Vocaloid kind of concert thing, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they did that. But that movie came out, was it 3 years ago now? Because I was still with my ex-girlfriend. So yeah, that was more than 3 years ago that movie came out. Was it 2022 was that last Sword Art movie? 2023, 2022 maybe? I think that was it. So that's what this, that's what, this asana right here is from, you know. So yeah, they've been kind of slacking with Sword Art lately. It's kind of taken a hiatus, but you know what? Sometimes it's better for a series to take a hiatus and then come back. Sometimes they do way better when they go away and come back. But that was it for the anime figures. So as always, at the end of the segment, I like to just show you guys another little refresher on what we highlighted and then give my favorite high end and my favorite low end. So, did not have a Miku this week. We had the amazing Hawks Artifacts J from My Hero Monday. Did not have a ReZero figure this week. We had another good one, Persona 5 Queen Pop-Up Parade by Good Smile Company. An awesome Reincarnated Slime Otherworlder Plus Rimuru prize figure. And another Kotobukiya piece, of course, with the Trigun Vash the Stampede. And of course, finished off the week with what we just talked about, the brand new or newer Asuna figurism from Sword Art Online. So I had two higher end pieces this week. And between Vash the Stampede and Hawks. And that's a tough one because those are two absolute bangers. I gotta go and I gotta give it to my boy Hawks. I gotta give it to Hawks over Vash. To me, this piece, just the sheer scale and the scope of this piece, just it instantly just it draws eyes to it the minute it you see it on a shelf. It's there with my other Kotobukiya MHA stuff, and it's like you look at that shelf, and it's like you zero in on just the big red wings and just his presence, and it's freaking awesome, and I cannot stress enough how badass this Hawks looks. I've got half a dozen Hawks figures, and I think this is still chef's kiss. It's the best one I've had, probably the best one I'm gonna get because I don't know how many more we're gonna get of them. As far as the lower end stuff, we got Rimuru, we got Queen, and we got Asuna. The Asuna, I can kick right out because I already nitpicked way too much about her. It's gonna be between Rimuru and Queen. As much as I love the Makoto pop-up parade, I gotta give it to this Otherworlder Plus Rimuru. I gotta. Just everything about it, the dynamic base, the extra effort they put in with the stand, the pose, just the presence, the wingspan on them, all of it, it just comes together in this beautiful package, and I cannot sing its praises enough. I think it's an absolute banger. Um, been an addict to anime art so much back then. Oh God, yeah. It, I'm surprised it's a prize figure. Yeah, dude. Like I said, sometimes prize figures can surprise you. We've been getting such good quality lately. The only problem is when you have so many great quality prize figures come out, and then you have the ones that are a little kind of underwhelming. It definitely becomes more noticeable because the newer prize figures definitely have a lot more quality put into them, right? So, I mean, you look at something like this, right? Right. You look at something like he just fell off his stand. Hold on. His butt plug fell out. Hold on. I got to put him back in. It's a bad example. Well, actually, it's a good example too because it's not the most stable figure. Um, but yeah, you look at something like the little Gobta, right? They charge 25 plus dollars for these things now. I mean, some of the stores charge 30 bucks for these little prize figures now, right? The little basic Ben Presto prize figures, right? You look at that, you look at that, and then you look at something like this, right? And these are like 30 bucks too. And this is dynamic. It's got a crazy pose. It's got a crazy freaking, stand to it with the bunnies all coming off it. Like the figures don't the math doesn't math when you're sizing up prize figures. And it does with the increase of quality in some of these prize figures and price. You start looking at some of the other prize figures and just going, man, these are a ripoff now. So it's going to now cause all the other places to up their figure game as well. I hope because the companies like Sega and Taito and Furyu have been putting out these absolute bangers of lines. They have your basic entry level lines, but then they've got your figurisms, your buy cute lines, your trio try it lines, your uh the Luminasta series. You have all these different lines that are a lot more premium prize figure for a affordable price, and then you have like the Band Presto figures for the same price. And it's just like, why would I want to do that? So that's why I like to show off some of these figures from each different line because you can kind of get an idea of are these worth it or are they not. And a lot of times I tell people now to stay away from the base Band Presto stuff because it is become something that I from something I started with anime figures to something that I kind of shy away from now because they're not that great and they're usually very small. So yeah, I agree. I agree. There's always something new coming out in anime or manga or stuff like that. And it's great. It's great that we have so much variety that we never really run out of things to watch or talk about. And that's the thing. Like I said, I wish I had more topics prepared for today. Again, just a rough time for me, losing somebody last week. I didn't really, I kind of fell by the wayside. We can definitely talk about one thing I didn't put in the title, which I should have, which is the My Hero final episode. We can definitely talk about that. Because that was Ooh, that was good. That was real good. But let's first. I'm trying to think of what we should talk about first. I'm looking at my topics and I'm going, Let's talk about a new game that dropped right this week. And of course, it's another gotcha game. It's a game I streamed too. I streamed it last week after Caffeinated Collector. I did a double stream, and it was surprising to me, honestly. I had a blast with it and have been playing it on my phone even, which I don't normally do because I've been wanting to play it so much. And that, of course, is NTE, right? So NTE has the worst name ever. I'm gonna just say it. It is a horrible, horrible name. Neverness to Everness. Whoever thought of that name should be fired, first of all. It's a god awful name for a game. Uh, but the game itself is so much fun. And the gameplay loop on it is just so far continually adding new stuff for you to do. Um, this game, a lot of people are calling it anime GTA. We got anime Grand Theft Auto before we got Grand Theft Auto 6. And this game is absolutely crazy. It is made, of course, by a company, by Perfect World Games, who also does, I believe it's Tower of Fantasy, which I didn't really care for that one that much, right? Tower Fantasy was not that great. It was something that had some cool looks. I think it had a Evangelion crossover, but that was one of those games that it felt like it still needed time to cook. It wasn't up to snuff with the others out there like Genshin Impact even or Zenless Zone Zero. It just wasn't there. It didn't have that Hoyoverse high quality flair to it. It was very generic feeling. So, I'm going to bring up something a little interesting. Speaking of Neverness to Everness, we're going to do this here. And this is interesting here. So, this game did just release on the 29th of April. So, yeah, 6 days ago, right? So, I'm going to go over here to pushsquare.com for a little article about this PS5. Now, they say it's PS5, but it's PS5, it's PC, and it's mobile. So, it's on 3 different platforms. PS5's NTE, I do like that better than Neverness. Everness makes back 1/3 of its budget in just one day. One day, guys. And I know my camera's a little off. That's weird. I'll have to reset where my camera is. But this, of course, is my girl, Mint. She's awesome. Yeah. So we're going to see free-to-play gotcha game NTE is tipped to have made back approximately 1/3 of its developmental budget in just one day. The urban open world, which launched as a PS5 console exclusive last week alongside PC and mobile. Okay, they do mention it in the article. Okay, good. Generated $14.6 million across all platforms on launch day alone. The game's budget is somewhere in the region of $44 million, although we haven't been able to corroborate that number. The Chinese company says the title significantly outperformed its previous flagship title, Tower of Fantasy, and noted 75% of its global revenue is currently accounted for by PS5 and PC. Now, that's interesting to me right there, because normally these games are mobile heavy users. And we're showing the shift now because we're making these mobile games available on consoles and PC. And that's interesting to me. Honestly, I do play it on my phone. when I have to, right? Not a huge fan of the touchscreen controls, but that is pretty interesting to see that typically predominantly mobile game launched with better numbers on PS5 and PC. I think that's very interesting. And it shows that maybe these other companies should focus on making console games rather than mobile games. But that's just my opinion. So some investors may have been spooked by the title's sensor tower rankings, which only take into account mobile revenue. Clearly, as these cross-platform titles increase in complexity, more and more people are choosing to play them on consoles or PC, which again I think is a good thing. I absolutely love that we're going to get more console stuff. Um, there are videos obviously here for the next events. I don't really want to spoil anything for anything, but the character designs are pretty cool. Uh, Perfect World added that based on his data so far, more players are interacting with the game's open world life sim elements than its actual combat. But it noted that it's listening to feedback and will be reducing the grind in some areas. It also pointed out that it wants the game to remain player friendly and will be exploring direct purchases for virtual goods like carts, housings, and skin moving forward. Yeah, bull crap. No, I don't like that idea. But then again, it probably is easier to just buy the skin you want or the character you want than it is to do the gotcha. But they're going to make way less money. So I don't know if they're going to do that. While this game does have gotcha aspects, it's one of the more generous games on the market thus far, eliminating the common but controversial 50-50 mechanic, which gives you a 50% chance to unlock promoted character upon designated number of pulls. Publisher will aim to continue to monetize the game by selling in-games items directly as DLC. It pointed to its upcoming Porsche collaboration as an example, so presumably you may have to pay for some of those things if you want to drive them. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention here. Um, we've got yeah. See now my camera shifted again. I gotta readjust that when I zoom out there. But so one of the things now we'll get into the weeds now because I did stream the game last week, right? We'll get more into the weeds now and talk about it. Yes, it does have a great soundtrack. And that is exactly what I'm talking about too. Is I like seeing more mobile games going to console. On that note, one thing I think should have happened was the Persona Phantom X game that we got on mobile should have been on console as well. I think if that game was launched on console, it would have a bigger impact than it does right now. I know it did get released on PC. I downloaded it on Steam. I haven't bothered playing it. I think the gotcha rates for it are really, really terrible. So I kind of checked out. But if it was on my console, I probably would be playing it more. Yeah, my camera definitely got drunk right there. When I zoomed out, the camera went like way the hell over there. I don't know what happened there. But you know what? Hey, we're all right. We're all right. Cameraman's been drinking. I don't know. But what are my thoughts? So I have put quite a bit of hours. I'm like ashamed to admit how many hours I put into NTE off stream, and that's another thing I regret. I did stream it for 2.5 hours maybe on launch day and had an absolute blast with it. Now I am oof, Hunter rank 19, I think now. I've been putting in the work in that game. Like I said, I've been literally grabbing my phone and I've been playing it. Just I'm in bed before I go to sleep. I'm playing it. I'm at work taking my break. I'm logging in. I'm playing it. I'm crazy right now with the game. I think it hasn't. It's definitely caught me, and it's caught my interest like crazy. I don't really know if I'm interested in the story as much as I am all the other elements of the game, right? Uh, I think, like I said, it's basically, what's that? Ah, excuse me. Sorry, I just sneezed a whole bunch there. Good thing I wasn't drinking my coffee. Let me take another sip now because I almost just died. All right, so now that I have done more in the game, right, I can essentially say it is 100% anime Grand Theft Auto. You can buy properties, you can buy businesses and operate your businesses. You have to stock the businesses with products to sell in 4, 12, or 24 hour, or no, it's 4 hour, 24-hour, or 72-hour increments. And you have to purchase all the stuff or find out in the world to make your products. And then they go above, and in the cafes and your restaurants that you own, you can go in there and actually do mini games where you prepare food and do all these things for customers. Goes a little bit deeper. The prison system, the police system in the game, which I didn't know, my kid had to show me because she got arrested in the game. So you can, just like Grand Theft Auto, you get the crime meter up in the top, the police meter with the stars. The police will start coming after you if you're breaking the law, stealing people's cars, breaking things out in public, things like that. It will bring up your heat meter. You can bribe the cops with cookies. You can do all these other things to kind of get your wanted level down, but you can also get arrested. And it's crazy because it does something not even GTA does, where when you get arrested, you go to jail. And it tells you how many days you have to spend in jail, right? And I didn't know that because I haven't gotten arrested in the game yet. But Gigi did. And she's like, Dad, look at, oh my God, you're walking around the prison. You can bang on your cell to call the guard and interact with the guard. You can go down, work in the prison, washing dishes, steal spoons, try to dig the holes in your walls, all kinds of stuff. There's like a list of prison break options that you can find, and you can show your progress for each one of the ways to break out. And you can continually work on those every time you go to jail. And like she was showing me she was stealthing and she was sneaking behind counters, all kinds of stuff. Like, dude, we didn't even get that in Grand Theft Auto for 5 games and all the remakes and reboots and everything else. So it's like it really is anime Grand Theft Auto. It is crazy what they've done. And then yeah, we're gonna get a Porsche collab, and I believe there's gonna be a Persona collab. Um, I believe there is going to be a Persona collaboration. They haven't announced it, but we definitely have a Porsche one coming, and then we're gonna have what I believe is going to be a Persona one. Now, there is Persona music in the game. So that's pretty cool. We've got, if you go to the music store, right, in the game, you can buy optional music. You get a Walkman, things like that. You can buy two or three different Persona 5 and then Persona X, the mobile game songs, and you get like song packs. So they're already collabing with Persona now, meaning, maybe we'll get some more in the future. But I think that's pretty cool that already out the gate we're gonna go and collab. So I think the character designs are pretty cool so far. There's too many right now. There's too many like annoying kid characters, I think. And hopefully we balance that out a little bit more with some more kind of badasses. But again, the character lineup isn't too bad. We've got, your typical waifus and things like that. Um, we've got a couple of male characters, not very many. Um, but we have, let's see if I can share this. Will this show your characters or no? So I'll do this real quick. We'll share this. I'm just going to show a couple of the characters real quick. It's not going to really get too into the characters, but um, Nonali is our limited event character, right? She is kind of like she's like a fox girl, right? And she has some pretty cool combat. Here's like an example of her combat right here. Combat is definitely a mix of Zenless Zone Zero and Genshin Impact, I think. I guess maybe you could say Tower Fantasy because Tower Fantasy had combat much like Genshin, right? It was a little slower paced, but this actually has the flair of Zenless Zone Zero. After going back to Zenless Zone Zero, I don't know if it's as good as Zenless Zone Zero's, but it is still pretty damn enjoyable. So she's our first character, our exclusive character, right, for the gacha. So you can wall run in this game. You can climb walls. You have gliders. You have cars. Like you've got everything. So she's kind of like a little fox girl, right? I she's okay. I pulled her, but we've got a bunch of other characters here. So obviously we have your main character, which is called Esper Zero. We've got everyone's fan favorite character, who is Mint, of course. Every freaking cosplay girl out there is cosplaying this character now. They love her. They're all adoring her. I simp over her too. She's super cute. Can we actually bring her up? We can. So we can bring up her kind of gameplay. She has um, dual blades. She's pretty cool. She does like a whirlwind attack. She's got some definitely interesting attacks. The one thing I think this game suffers where things like Zenless do really, really well is I think they're right here, their finisher animations, their ultimate animations are not that cool, and they refresh really, really quickly. So you're using them a lot in every combat occurrence. So you see the animation a lot, and it's not really that impressive, right? They're all right, but they're not the greatest, right? So Mint is one of those characters, obviously, that is a fan favorite. Cheese, yes, her name is Cheese. I thought it was Chiz or Shiz. I have not gotten her yet. She is a actual free character you're going to be able to get after you progress so long throughout the one of the events. We've got Edgar. He is essentially a child, but he's a healer, so he does actually come in very handy. Daffodil here is our badass kind of special agent kind of waifu character. Obviously, she's got the glowing blue eye. She kind of looks like she belongs in the Black Rock shooter universe to me. But we'll scroll down here, see a little bit of her combat. She uses like dual blades with chains on them. I love her combat. I think she's freaking awesome. I pulled her, and now she has become my favorite character to use in combat. Just like in Zenless Zone Zero, you have all your upgrades that you can do to your skills and everything like that. But she is a freaking beast. And here's like some of more of her combat, her special moves, things like that. But again, she has a lot of like these chains and things like that that come off her swords. Definitely gives those vibes of like I said, Black Rock shooter. I don't know why, but I freaking love it. I think she's an awesome character. I'm glad I pulled her. Um, I don't know much about him other than he's in the intro of the game and he shows up twice so far, and yeah, I don't know. He's our pretty boy. I don't know. I don't really care. Whatever. He's not a waifu. I'm not looking up. Right. Sakiri, another one of the child characters. I know my daughter loves using her. I think she just looks like she reminds me of the other character I don't like using in Zenless. Um, with the horn, the little Oni looking girl. I honestly am brain farting her name right now. Sukaku. This is she reminds me of her. Um, Adler, of course, he's the owner of our no, the owner, not the owner. He's like the front man for the pawn shop that you work for. He's a free character. You get him right off the rip, just like you do with Mint. Nonali, obviously, we just went over her. She's the S rank character for this event. Uh, Jin Yuan, she reminds me of the Herda from Honkai Star Rail. Have not pulled her yet. I don't know much about her character. Fadia, of course, is our dominatrix mommy. I need to get her, and I have like 5 more pulls until I can choose her, so I'm going to be getting her next as well. Uh, Naniel, she's really cool. She was actually given to us for free for the pre-registration bonus. She's a range character. Hathor is a really cool badass. Like she has like the Sephiroth one wing angel kind of thing going. She's a biker girl, really cool. Hits hard. Skia is awesome. He's our, for the furries out there. He's the character, but he also does combat a lot like Tokoyami in My Hero Academia, where he's got like Dark Shadow, only instead of a bird, it's a wolf. It's very, very cool. And Aurelia is basically a squid girl. So they have a very good variety of characters so far, and I'm curious to see where we're going to go in the future. Definitely looking forward to what we're going to do with collabs and things like that. Um, oh, God. Yes. Sorry, I didn't see that there. Yes, I am going to 100% do Persona 4 Revival. Yes. Unresounding. Yes, a resounding yes. That is an instant buy for me. I will definitely be getting that. I'm a little, little nervous. They made a couple of changes to Persona 3 that I wasn't, too happy about. It took out some of the funny parts, but all in all, they did a great job. Persona 3 Reload. So yeah, that's kind of NTE. I really am enjoying it much more than I thought I was going to. Um, Now, who is your character of choice right now? Do you have a character of choice? Or do you just kind of love playing as everybody? I really do like playing as Hathor and Daffodil. I think they are probably my favorite characters in NTE so far. I think those two have a cool combat sound. And Skia. I think he is awesome. He's probably going to be a mainstay in my party as well, just because, like I said, his shadow moves are really really cool. But yeah, I've been kind of just playing with all the characters. I just got Nanali, so I have to try her and see how she is. But I think all in all, it's a very very interesting game. From buying properties and apartments and customizing them with the furniture. They have gachapon machines. You can go get figures. You can actually put them in displays in your apartment in the game. You can win plushies and the crane games. There's arcades to go to. There's literally a crazy taxi mini game where you pick up characters and you deliver them to different locations for money. There's again your businesses that you buy. There's mahjong style game. There's fishing mini games in it, dude. This oh I don't. It's more like what doesn't this game have in it than what does it have. So it's almost like think of Grand Theft Auto in your head and then just go anime version and everything you can do other than maybe the strip clubs in Grand Theft Auto, you can do in NTE. It is insane what they did with it. And I think it is really cool because it's more of a living, breathing world than the other gotcha games that we played. Like I love Zenless Zone Zero, but you change it to day to night cycles. There's three day to night. There's morning, midday, and there's night, right? NTE does it dynamically as you're playing because it's a huge open world. So like it'll be daylight and it'll just shift to night and just boom, going into nighttime. And people will kind of like go off the streets, more cars will come out. You'll see cars racing around the streets. You'll see the cops out there. It's really, really cool to see what they've done with the game. And I think it's very impressive. Oh, you're a fan of Nonnally? See, I just pulled her today, like this morning, so I haven't actually had a chance to play her yet. But I know my daughter likes playing as her. She's a fan of Nonnally. I really like Daffodil's gameplay. Her character is she's zippy, she's fast, she's got a good area attack with her chains. She's really good. I did like Hathor, but I'm noticing that I'm liking her a little bit less now that I play more as Daffodil. But Mint is kind of like the default character. I just don't use her as much. But she's got her uses too. They definitely, like I said, they definitely have some characters for everybody in the game, and I think they gave us a pretty good variety of characters, and they do give you a decent amount of characters for free. So, like I said, you get your main character who is actually a combat character. You get Adler, you get Mint, and then you got well, I can't say you get Nanyel. You get her for the bonus. So you did get a starting character, three characters to start. So it's not bad. Um, I think I can definitely see this game taking a chunk of money away from other gotcha games. I think this game might do a good hit to Genshin. I think this might take a hit out of Zenless. But the thing is Genshin and Zenless are continually putting out new stuff. So its fans are going to keep coming back. And just like what I do is I bounce back to the game, I play it for the events, I get all the stuff done, and then I jump onto the next game and just do my daily logins. So like right now, I'm behind on Honkai Star Rail because I kind of lost interest in the story. I pulled the characters and then I did miss some of the characters I wanted. So I kind of took a break. Zenless, I did finally pull Cecilia. I don't know if you guys saw that. Immediately after I ended the stream, I did pull Cecilia. And I was so happy I was still partially recording because I got to record my voice reaction to freaking out getting her. So I did get Cecilia in Zenless. So I've kind of taken a little bit of a Zenless break, which is great because now I have more time for NTE. So the problem now is there's so many good gotcha games out there that it's kind of pushing my other games to the side. And I hate that because like the other games I've actually bought and I've spent money on, and I'm playing free games now, and I'm like, oh, I gotta start just bunkering down and getting some like of my bought games beaten. So this week, obviously, we're gonna do more Pragmata. Speaking of games, we're gonna do more Pragmata this week. I might do another NTE stream. I'm not sure since I already pulled Nonnally. There isn't really anything I'm working towards other than the story and buying properties and things like that. But I got a cool motorcycle now in the game, so I'm good. But there's still a lot of stuff that I have to uncover and I have to do. The game is I'm very impressed. I was a little upset because I literally found a theme park in the game. There is a massive theme park. It looks like Disneyland with a giant castle, freaking walls in it. And I made it all the way out there, and there's an invisible wall. You cannot go inside. It's a big open gate like a Disneyland, but it's all when you go in there like a big virtual do not enter thing goes over it. You can't go inside. I'm like, yo, I'm going to the Disneyland. Let's go. I couldn't go in. So hopefully it's gonna be part of the story or something because I want to be able to go into a theme park. It's a giant Ferris wheel. There's like a big castle. Looks really, really cool. Like I'm hoping we get to go in there. Slash zero. Which one is that? Is that another is that the roguelike that's coming out? I think it's a rogue. Is it a roguelike? Let me look this up. It's a side-scrolling. Okay, I have seen this. It was like a side-scrolling roguelike. I mean, I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna really bother with. It's something that maybe I'll look into and see what what it does. But there's no like price, no release date, no nothing like that. So I'll probably dip in and see what it looks like afterwards. But yeah, it looks like it's a 2D roguelike slash hack and slash. Um, I don't know, it might be something I look into. But let's see. Actually, good job talking about the NTE. So that was good. That was good. Really quick. And I don't want to really cover this too much, but I did put it in the title, so I'm gonna have to bring it up. Um, there's been some YouTube drama lately, and it's been a problem, right? So I'm just gonna bring it up real quick because I mean, as somebody who I always say like I feel like my channel's being false flagged a lot of the time, and I feel like my channel's getting throttled for stupid reasons. This does kind of matter, especially for somebody like me who reviews figures and does a bunch of shorts about figures, right? So over the past weekish, maybe a little bit longer than that, we've been getting massive things on Twitter and things like that of people getting their channels demonetized, right? Channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers are making thousands of dollars a month, and it's just become this huge thing now with YouTube's new AI uh, detection system, right? No humans, no nothing. It's all an AI going through your channels. And it worries me. I mean, not so much because obviously I have the follower count for monetization, but I don't have the view count for monetization. So I'm not monetized. I don't make any money. I don't get ad revenue. I don't get anything like that. So it doesn't really affect me, but it does suck for channels like mine that do review figures and cover collectibles and things like that and do all these shorts of the collectibles because right here saying they're demonetizing AI channels. Well, a lot of the channels that have been complaining were not AI channels. Some were, but a lot of people that were having issues were legitimate channels that had actual videos and reviews and things like that, and they were getting demonetized. Granted, by now, most of them have gotten problems fixed. But we have this new thing called inauthentic content flagging. And so now what YouTube's doing is they're taking their AI and they're looking for your AI. And they're trying to flag anything that looks like it's samey content, right? Basically. So now they're telling you, what it means. So most creators think YouTube is punishing them for using AI tools, and that's wrong. I don't really know because I heard people that use anime or AI voiceovers are getting hit, and that's in their terms of service that it's allowed. I don't know, but we'll see. YouTube isn't flagging AI voices, AI script, or AI visuals on their own. Inauthentic content means YouTube can't identify the value your channel adds to the platform. It's a separate violation from reused or repetitive content, and you can reapply after 90 days. So that's where I start to worry as a smaller channel that doesn't really do that well. Okay, I know I say it all the time. I'm struggling to even get the motivation to keep doing this half the time, right? I am scared about this because how long until collectibles, when it's maybe collectibles aren't going to be deemed valuable to YouTube, right? I say that all the time where I'll put a figure up. It's a popular anime, it's a popular series, it's in the zeitgeist, it's hot right now, and it won't get any views. And I'll always question that. And this inauthentic content description right here makes me believe that as a collectibles channel, I have no possibility of growing on YouTube anymore. Because what value is it adding to YouTube. And I don't know. It's crazy. So it tells you all these steps here to, break out of your norms. Don't use the same thumbnail style. Don't use the same intro style. Don't do this. Don't do that. So this is basically just people are telling you like what to use, right? Don't use the same AI voices. Uh, Ditch to chat GPT scripting because it can detect all the scripts and things like that. Mix real footage in your content, add new information, and then it tells you how you can appeal your hits. So I think, I'm gonna get rid of this article now because it really isn't much. But it's one of those things that does make me nervous as a channel like mine who does shorts and then long form and then now does live streams. So maybe I wouldn't get flagged as badly because I do live streaming, I do game streaming now, things like that. But um as someone who has seen with the now throttling of the YouTube shorts and things like that, I've seen it, right? Where in the beginning of shorts, it was telling us, do YouTube shorts, do YouTube shorts. Oh, it's going to bring more eyes to your channel. It's going to bring this, it's going to bring that. And you kept getting pumped up and you kept getting talked into doing YouTube shorts. And I did that and I fell for the trap. And now I keep waiting for how long until my collectibles is going to be considered this kind of content they're going to get rid of. What is it bringing to the platform? And that's what makes me worried. But then again, I'm also not monetized. I'm not making any money. I've made $2 since I've started this YouTube channel. And YouTube still has it. I can't get it because you have to hit $50 before you can get money out. So I think I feel bad for bigger channels that this is affecting. I've seen people that are like, my video got taken down for inauthentic content. I lost $4,000. I've seen people posting this stuff, and that's scary, especially if this is people's sole revenue, right? That is very scary if it is your only source of income. That's why I tell people I would probably not quit my full-time job if I started making money on YouTube. I don't know if I could because content creation is such a thing that fluctuates so drastically that I could make money one month and never make money again. So I always say that, and people give me a hard time. They laugh at me because they always say, how much money would you need to be a full-time content creator? And I always say, dude, if I get $60,000 a year doing content creation, sign me up. I'm good. And people always laugh at me. They're like, that's nothing. That's peanuts. I could survive off that. My mortgage will be paid. My car payment will be paid. I'll be good. I would be great. But a lot of people are like, that's not enough. If you want to be a content creator, you got to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's like, I don't believe that, but that's just me. I guess I'm just not a greedy content creator. Dude, I would be like I said, I was excited. I was happy when someone tipped me $2 on a stream. Okay. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. It was great. I was like, people are like, why are you so happy about that? It's $2. I'm like, well, they didn't have to give me $2. Like, but they did. And I'm like, that's really cool. So I get it. Like, people's views are different. People think everyone wants to be, Asmongold making millions of dollars to the point where you can't count it, or people want to be ISO Speed where you can literally not make any content for 7 months and still keep making money because your subs just keep subbing. Like I don't need to be that. Trust me, I think we would all love to be that. We would all love to make that kind of money to do things that we love 100%. If I could turn what I love into a job and this could be my job, yes, I would do it in a heartbeat. But it's the grind of getting there that does bring a lot of people down. And this new thing with this inauthentic content, it's gonna make a lot of people start looking elsewhere. And I heard everyone talking about Rumble and all these other platforms. Dude, I went to Rumble. Rumble's dog shit. I'm late enough in the stream where I can say my one swear per stream. Rumble's dog shit. Unless you are someone talking about politics nonstop, it's not anything worthwhile. I uploaded a ton of unboxings and figure reviews and things like that to it for collectibles. Nothing, right? So I can honestly say, as a nerd focused channel, it's even less, you know, view like reach. There's even less reach than on YouTube. Obviously, you have a thing that has like 55 million subscribers to YouTube, who has like hundreds of millions of subscribers, so your reach is definitely not there. um I've been told to multi-platform. Sure, I'll do that, but most of the time it doesn't go anywhere. So I don't know. I think it's scary what YouTube is doing. I think it is definitely scary because it's a lot of false flags. And I think YouTube's been doing that for a while. And just now it's kind of out there in the open. I think relying too heavily on the AI to moderate everything isn't a good thing, because again, there's going to be kinks that have to get worked out of it, and until it's all worked out, it's going to cause problems for everybody. And again, I do feel insanely bad for those people that have been affected by it, because it does suck. Um, yeah, that's it for that. Like I said, I didn't want to stick too long in the YouTube nonsense, because again, it's not something that affects me yet because I don't make any money. But dude, I feel so bad for people who've lost a ton of money. It sucks. It always sucks. Losing your job, losing money, it always sucks. And if this is your one stream of revenue, then damn, I feel for you. You know. And then let's see, another thing. Yeah, if I reach 1 million subs, YouTube. Nah, dude, yeah, I know YouTubers that have like 8,000 subs that do it full time, and they make good money. So they make a livable wage. So it's possible. You just gotta. It's all a thing of luck and like who you know in the circle. It really is. I've tried to collaborate with a couple of creators, and I've been basically told, why would I want to collaborate with you? Things like that. You only have 2,000 subs. I've been told that by people before, and it's like, I get it. But you know what? I look at it as, what about you when you had low subs? What about you when you weren't monetized? Like, I look at a lot of content creators and I'm like, I remember when you started, you weren't getting views, and then you latched on to somebody else, and now you've got a bunch of people, you got a bunch of fans, and I get it. But it does suck. The grind does suck. Sometimes I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't even know why I do this. But again, I have a good time doing it. And when I stop having good time doing it, I probably won't do it anymore. So, we'll see. But I do feel bad for the people who get affected by it and are losing like their livelihood. But just like every job market out there, like you could have a job today and it's gone tomorrow, So I just suggest that people maybe don't depend on one platform for all your revenue. Kind of reach, other markets, because it's tough out there. So one of the last things I will talk about today, maybe we'll do something else too, but one of the other things I want to talk about is definitely something that doesn't really get much people talking lately, and it's Free Comic Book Day. So as you guys know, Free Comic Book Day happened this weekend. It's the first first Saturday in May every year, right? Want more subs? Remember my words, full collection videos. Dude, you keep talking about me doing full collection videos. I've been making collection videos for 4 years now. It doesn't do it. Trust me. If you look at my old YouTube videos when I had no subscribers, my videos got tens of thousands of views. Now that I have a couple thousand subs, I get nothing for views. Like I said, the way YouTube does things baffles my mind, and I will never understand it. As my subscribers go up, my views go down. I get people that have notifications turned on for my content and go, I never even saw a notification. So I don't know. And you can tell me that doing a room tour or shelf tours or anything like that is going to bring more viewers in. I've done them before and it doesn't. Doing haul videos doesn't. Trust me. I do them all the time. I do haul videos every month. They get nothing. Meanwhile, a girl with her boobs out goes, I got a new figure today, guys. Look, an anime figure. And she's got 20, 40, 50,000 views on it in a day. I get it, right? I don't have the I don't have the female assets to advertise my figures. I know. Look, trust me. I have friends that do it and they're like, I don't know why your video didn't get views. I reviewed that figure the other day and my God, I have 140,000 views. And I'm like, right there, rub it in, you know. But no, man, trust me. I've done every suggestion that I've been told by a lot of more successful channels than mine and people that have been doing it for a long time. Said I used to just do cold starts to my videos. Now I do little intros to the video, all that stuff. And I do more with my stuff because I even talk about the character and things like that. And a lot of people don't want to hear about the character. They just want to see the figure. And that's why short forms do so much better. They just want to see ripped open, show me it. I don't care. Um, and that's where I think my videos do suffer is because I discuss the figure, I discuss the character, I discuss what I like about it, I discuss what I don't like about it, and I don't think that does as well in the climate now. People just want instant, show me, shut up, and that's it. You know. Yeah, it's wild. Like I said, my analytics. I mean, I think I showed them last week where or the week before that where my older videos when I had 50 to 100 subscribers were getting 10, 20, 30,000 views for horrible unboxings that are like 25 minutes long with ums and ahs and I don't know and like delays and just me sitting there thinking what to think next, like no editing, just it's the video, it's done, and no lighting, sitting on a floor, and the video's got tons of views. Now it's like I actually put some effort into it. I do some editing, I do some effects, I have music, like, and I get 12 views. So like it's really weird that I don't even get a view per subscriber, on most videos, but I will never understand it. But again, yeah, the power of boobs. Yeah, I don't have that power. So but yeah, back to Free Comic Book Day. I know it's nothing anyone really cares about because comics kind of suck. Modern comics, they're not good. They're kind of ass. I say it all the time. As someone who has tens of thousands of comic books, I think modern comics are majority trash. But yeah, we did have Saturday. We had Free Comic Book Day. The the handful of comic shops around the world that exist now. I think the U.S. we're down to a couple thousand registered comic book shops in the country. So they've dropped drastically, much like comic book sales. So Free Comic Book Day is, first Saturday of every month, and the distributors usually give out a bunch of free comic books to kind of draw traffic into your local shops, right? And it's usually, most shops hold little events, things like that. My favorite local comic shop, which barely does comic books anymore because they don't sell, they did a new event where they did a meet and greet, and they actually got anime voice actors this time, which was pretty cool. So the kiddo and I went, obviously, I'll share it right here, my little Instagram post here. We actually met two voice actors. And of course, it was the husband and wife duo of Sandy Fox and Lex Lang, who, if you guys don't know, uh, Lex voices Gito and My Hero, not My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was just talking about My Hero, so yeah, it was on my mind. And of course, Sandy Fox is not only the voice of Chibi Moon and one of my favorite characters from Gaskaya, Flan, but she's also Betty Boop and things like that. So this was at Most Excellent Comics and Gaming in Enfield, Connecticut. It's one of my favorite places to go. I love it. And it was a cool little event. Didn't have the turnout I was expecting for having all these voice actors and things like that. But I think, there were a couple of things that they could have done differently and kind of changed things. But it was their first time doing it, and I think, they learned a little bit here from it of what they're gonna do going forward. But it was $5 to get in, and then you had to pay to meet the voice actors and do all their stuff through their handlers. So it was definitely expensive, but obviously, my daughter loves Chibi Moon. It's growing up, she would call herself Chibi Moon. That's me. That's me. And of course, she loves Jujutsu Kaisen, and she needed to get Gito's signature as well. So of course, we did the photo ops. She got this awesome Chibiusa print, obviously. So she got this signed by Sandy Fox, and that was really, really cool to meet her. And then of course, we got this awesome print from Lex, obviously signed here, where it says loves and curses. So what she's going to do now is we're going to get Gojo's voice actor to sign inside the hand right here, so she can have kind of a dual signature thing. But yes, two more signatures to add to my kids voice actor collection, so to speak. She's going to need a room just for her signatures. It's crazy. Let's see. My anime store is pretty big. See, now that's the difference. Is this is a comic book shop, and it's like a warehouse. It's massive, right? I wonder if I can bring up a photo of it. I wonder if I can bring up a picture of it. It literally looks like a freaking warehouse. It's huge. Oh, I don't see any like inside pictures. This is like a Facebook picture. That's the Manchester store. They had another store and they closed it, and which is even bigger. But yeah, this store is the size of like a huge warehouse. It's massive. And the amount of product they have is crazy. But it is funny because it's a comic shop. Right, I've been going there since I was a kid, all those different locations. Your new comic releases went from an entire wall to a shelf. That's a sign of the times when you see a comic shop where the comics have become a shelf and everything else, anime merch, everything else, statues, collectibles, is filling it. And then there's a massive TCG area in the back with like a dozen plus tables. So you go into a comic shop now and you see that comics in most shops are not the new draw. No, she didn't get a new Sailor Moon poster. She got this. It's a really cool like holographic Chibi Moon poster. And obviously, like I said, the voice actor signed it. She signed it there for her. So this is a really, really cool print. But beating voice actors is not cheap as it used to be. I'll just say that. But even as far as the free comic books that you got for free comic book day, like our shop didn't really have a lot of the newer books and things like that. It was mostly a lot of like older stuff, and yeah, obviously you could pick a couple books and things like that. But I didn't see a lot of traffic anywhere for free comic book day, so it was very interesting, and it made me think. You know, our comic shop did have some comic artists, things like that as well. They had a couple of DC artists and things like that. Nothing crazy. A couple of local artists. One of my best friends was there as well. Selling his stuff, things like that. Shout out Zodian Knight. Check him out. Obviously, he did my logo, things like that. But yeah, he was there. He said he didn't really do too well on Saturday, but they had a continued event on Sunday, and he said they did really good on Sunday because they moved around the venue and things like that. So it was really cool. So again, Free Comic Book Day isn't what it used to be, just like Comic Cons aren't what they used to be, right? And that is the thing is I've been saying that for quite some years now, is that Comic Cons have shifted more to anime focused than comic focused, and people buy more anime merch at Comic Con than they do comics, right? Because really, the thing that sells the most at Comic Con for comics is back issues, is the older stuff, because the newer stuff sucks and nobody's buying it, right? We went from new Spider-Man books and new Batman books selling millions of copies, right, to 10,000 copies or tens of thousands of copies. So it is a very drastic drop off in your market. And I don't think it has anything to do with print media or anything like that, because manga is selling very, very well. I think it's just the quality of the comics. The quality, the insane pricing they do now, and the lack of consistency. And that's one of the things where I talk with manga and comic books. Manga is consistent. You get a new manga series. The art on the cover is the same art you're getting inside the book. First thing you notice. Comic books, and it's been like that forever. Amazing cover art. And you open it up. Sometimes it kind of looks like a 5-year-old drew it, right? So, first problem with that, pricing. Manga, yes, they have gone up now a little bit, some of the companies, but mangas typically go anywhere from $8 to like 14, right? We'll average that. Comic books now for a 30-page comic, they're going for like $6 now. And that value just isn't there. I would rather pick up an issue of My Hero Academia than any current Marvel or DC comic book superhero story. Anything. And it's crazy because again, you grab that My Hero manga, that cover, you open up that art inside, that cover art and that interior art match. You open up a modern comic book, you see an amazing J. Scott Campbell cover, right? And then you open it up, and the art looks like crap. It does not match the cover. So most of the time, most comic collectors I know that still are in the game, they're buying comics for the covers. They're still chasing variant covers. And I that's one of the other reasons why I got out of comics, man. Besides the crappy stories, the inconsistent art, the constant just changing of the lore, the constant retconning, I got out of them. I don't care anymore. And I've noticed that even like I said with Free Comic Book Day. I mean, I looked and it was like people were showing anime voice actors at Free Comic Book Day. And you're not advertising comic book people. It's a funny thing, and I noticed it again at conventions, everything. It's like New York Comic Con. What merch sells the most at Comic Con and New York Comic Con? The anime merch. They even made a separate anime con now. They have New York Anime Con because the anime stuff does so well. Cosplay. Majority of cosplayers now are anime cosplayers. It's overtaking everything in the best way possible, but also the worst way possible. Because again, my worry with the anime industry is that they're gonna start conforming to the Western standards, and it's gonna ruin the industry. But the only thing is it will weed itself down. It'll weed itself down if it does do that, because people will leave. Or people will create their own things, and that's my one worry. I just don't want it to be too westernized. I love that anime and manga has something for everybody, no matter what your niche is. And they keep it that way. They don't try to make every series for everybody. They don't do, diversity, inclusion, equity, whatever, DEI, where your company goes to DIE. They don't do that in anime and manga. And that's what's good because they do what matters to their story, what matters to the creator, not what caters to everybody. And that is the biggest problem with our Western comic book industry is they try to cater to everyone and they try to cater to the people who make the noise on Twitter and Reddit and Blue Sky and whatever, right? They want to appeal to the people who aren't even buying their products or supporting their products. They just want to yell on the rooftop when they don't agree with something. And that's the biggest problem with Western comics and Western media is that they focus too much on the people who don't financially support the things. And that is the biggest problem. Whereas, Japan and Korea and Chinese, art, they focus on their audience and who is bringing in money to their company. We want to make those people happy. I don't care about the people over here that are going to cry when my female character's got her boobs out. I don't care about that. I don't care about those people over there because they're not people that are going to buy my product anyways. And that's the way I always look at it. Why would you want to change and conform and mold into something for people who don't buy and support your products already? Why do you want to alienate your audience that you already have and push them aside to maybe bring in some new customers over here? Are those new people, those new fans, worth pushing out all the fans that have been supporting you for decades? I don't think so. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why the comic industry is where it is today. I think it is it's going downhill, and I don't know if comic books will even really be around in another 5 years. And it's sad as someone who's been collecting comics for 40 years. And it's just sad to see something that has lasted since my great grandparents were kids just gone, just shat away because what they're trying to do and then the market that doesn't exist that they're trying to capitalize on. Again, Twitter and Reddit is not the real world. And unfortunately these big companies see a post go viral on Twitter and they're like, oh my God, we got to change things. Oh my God, we're going to get backlash. Who cares? Are the people crying about your product spending money on it? No, they're not. Why? I'll keep conforming to the people who are spending money. And that's what I look at. And that's what anime does, and that's what manga does. They keep to their niche, they keep to their fans. Do you think they're going to stop doing fan service because some people on Twitter are mad about it? No. Anime is going to keep having panty shots and booty shots and cleavage shots and jiggle physics. They're going to keep doing it because that's what their market is doing. The people are supporting it. You think if all these characters were in freaking robes and were fat, obese people, all these figures would be getting bought? No, they wouldn't. People buy them because they're visually appealing. People gravitate to it because it's visually appealing. When you make crappy art and you make dog crap, bland, just ugly characters, you don't make money. That's it. And that's the way the comic industry is right now. It's the way our cartoon industry is in the West. It's the way our movies are in the West. It's all just this just blah, mediocre, just muted, uncreative, like creatively bankrupt, just amalgamation of slop. And thankfully, we still have anime and manga keeping things going. And that's what I've been saying for years, and I'll continue saying it, especially now that I have, this platform to talk about it on. It's crazy, to watch the shift away from things I grew up with and to watch them devolve into something I don't even recognize anymore. And it sucks. But I get to save money or, well, spend money on other things, I guess, So, that's the best part about having variety. I love that we get variety, and the competition is great. It's just our comic industry doesn't compete with each other anymore. They're all doing the same thing, except for your independents. And their big competition is anime and manga, and they can't compete with it because they'll never get out of their own way to compete with it. And that's just it. It was a sad turnout for Free Comic Book Day, and from what I hear for other people, theirs weren't that great either. So, do I even think they're going to bother with it from now on? I don't know. It wasn't very impressive anywhere, and the turnouts weren't there in a lot of places. I know there are some big popular comic shops that really did get some turnouts because they always do, but it was cool that we got to obviously meet Lex Lang and Sandy Fox, who obviously a lot of people don't know they're married. Very, very cool. They were great people, and it was nice. I'm gonna say it. It was way nicer to meet them at a comic shop than it was to meet them at a Comic Con because we got to hang out, talk with them. Gigi spent like an hour talking with Sandy Fox and just dialoguing with her. She drew a Chibi Moon picture and showed it to Sandy, and like it was great. She got to interact with her, she got to talk with her, do all kinds of stuff. You don't get that at Comic Con, so it definitely was a little bit cooler of an experience. I got to chat with Lex, excuse me, I got to chat with Lex Lang, talk to him about kind of how his Gito performance kind of changed, where he didn't know originally it was two characters with Kenjaku and Gito, and how that all came about and how he learned about it. It was awesome. And I actually, talked to him about maybe kind of chat with him a little bit down the road. So maybe we'll be able to link up at some time down the road and do a little something where I kind of do a little interview with him. But fingers crossed we get to do that, to go through his handlers and stuff like that. But that's it for Free Comic Book Day. One other thing I do want to talk about it because it matters to me. We did get the final epilogue episode of My Hero Academia this last week, titled More. And one thing about it, I knew I was going to sneeze, so I stopped my train of thought. Excuse me. Okay, so one of the things, it was very appropriately titled More. Because, god damn it, I wanted more. It was 22 minutes long, I think it was. And it felt like it was 6 minutes long. I wanted it to be an entire season. Give me an entire season of this 8-year time gap. I'm going to go over here to Polygon, just so we got a little something to bring up while I'm talking about it. So, their take on it is pretty good. I was expecting something a little bit more ship focused and fan fiction focused, but I like this. Polygon says My Hero Academia More finale gives the series its second perfect ending. And I like that they acknowledged that the ending to My Hero was amazing. I loved it. I defend it all the time. So episode 171 of the My Hero Academia anime ties up loose ends and shows us what happens to characters after their story ends. I, for one, love the background image they used of Deku Ochako. Yes, they are the canon ship. I don't care. People are saying that was a friendly handshake. Eat an entire bag of dicks, guys. Deku or Ravity, they are it. They are endgame. Don't care what you guys try to go and say in your fan fiction blogs. Um, in anime and manga, good endings can make or break a series. It's not an easy goal to achieve, and fans will often debate a story's conclusion for years after it ends. Just look at Attack on Titan. Now imagine a series so good it doesn't just have one perfect ending, but two. Bravo for saying that, Polygon. I gotta give you guys thumbs up for that. I say a lot of bad things about Polygon and things like that. Already, you guys, 2 thumbs up right there. I could stop reading this article right now and have this be a 10 out of 10. That's the case for My Hero Academia. The special episode 171 of the My Hero Academia anime titled More just aired, adapting chapter 431 of the manga, which was included in the final volume. MHA had a perfectly good ending with chapter 430, adapted in episode 170. It has everything you want from the conclusion of a great shonen series, delivering emotional storytelling and wrapping up the plot in a way that both makes sense and coherently fits with the rest of the series and its message. Of course, some readers still found reasons to complain, with criticism focusing on the fact that protagonist Deku is forced to abandon his dream of being a hero and spend 8 years adapting to a normal job as a teacher, and on the unresolved romance between him and Uraraka. So, yes, Ochako. More addresses both points brilliantly while giving fans one last chance to catch up with the main cast and their adult lives. So, one thing about that is, My Hero ended, right? You guys remember the ending. At the end of the final episode and the end of the manga, you didn't wonder what if. Deku was given his suit. So there was no curiosity, there was no leaving us in an 8-year gap. So that about this article is wrong. Okay? There was no what if, there was no, oh my god, Deku's just a plain guy now. We saw him get his suit at the end. So that right there, that I don't agree with that point. Okay? But again, I'm going to probably poke some holes in this and disagree a little bit as we go along. But so far, it's all right. I just don't agree with that. I think that phrasing right there, spending 8 years adapting to a normal job as a teacher, even though we find out that he's been doing superhero work on the side. So I don't like that. More begins with Ochako, Deku's classmate, and pro hero known as Iravity being distressed by a reoccurring dream in which she sees Toga, the villain who gave her life to save her during the final battle. I know, spoiler alerts, guys, I'm sorry. Started having these dreams 1 month ago, on the day where former students of Class 1A gifted Deku a high-tech suit that allows him to be a hero once again after losing his one-for-all quirk. It's clear that despite the overwhelmingly positive changes the world experiences after the defeat, she still has some unresolved issues and might not be the only one. Deku looks comfortable in his new dual role as teacher and hero. The short episode takes time to make it absolutely clear that his normal job is not a rebound. He states clearly that even if he still had one for all, he would want to be working as a teacher, following in the footsteps of his mentors like Aizawa. And I do love that. Still, after chatting with Bakugo, Midoriya realizes that perhaps he's missing something. If you keep saying everyone's special to me, Bakugo says, and this is one of the best things I love about this interaction with Bakugo, where people tell me he's a shallow character and he's mid. Right here, right here. This point that he makes in this episode and this issue of the manga, this chapter of manga, was perfect. And it does kind of show that even though he had that tough exterior, he did care about Deku and his frenemy friendship that they kind of had, their competitiveness, right? And growing up as a kid, I had those friends. I had those friends where it was like, Why are you friends with that guy? You guys are always at each other's throats. It was a competitiveness. It wasn't that we hated each other. It wasn't that we disliked each other. We were the best of friends, but we were competitive. And that drove us to be better. And it drove us both to try harder. And that is the friendship that Deku and Bakugo have. And I always tell people that. They don't hate each other. They're not enemies. They are friends. But they have such a just insane competitive drive with each other. Driven more by Bakugo than by Deku. But still, it's there. And I've had friendships like that. And I loved seeing that on screen and in the manga. It was great. So this line that Bakugo does say to Deku is great. If you keep saying everyone is special to me, that's a way of saying no one is special. And I've said that on stream regarding other things, in the past, where if everyone's special, no one's special. If it appeals to everyone, it appeals to no one. It's very similar to those things I've said here before. And that is a great thing for Bakugo to say to Deku because it makes Deku reflect, right? These words echo in Izuku's mind as the former classmates say goodbye after a reunion interrupted by a mandatory car chase, which gives us a chance to see the heroes in action together. I mean, we didn't see all of them. We saw a couple of them in action. Basically, the trio did all the work and everyone else kind of was standing there. The episode ends with Uraraka realizing she wished to talk more with Deku, only to turn around and see he's come after her. In her mind, Aravati sees Toga again, but this time she's gently pushing her forward, saying, "It's okay to do whatever you want and more." I loved that scene, dude. I'm getting chills right now. I literally have goosebumps right now thinking about that scene again. And I've rewatched the episode probably 8 or 9 times already. That scene with her mental image of Toga pushing her and her physically going into Deku's arms. That was just, it was a very powerful kind of message, right? And that thing that Toga says right there, where it's okay to be whatever you want and more. It says a lot because it shows about people trying to do what everyone else wants and what everyone else expects them to do. And having Toga's, basically her conscience telling her it's okay to want something for yourself. After all you've sacrificed and all you've done, it's okay. That is a very powerful thing, especially the way the world is now where everyone's trying to conform and do everything everyone else wants. And I love that message. I think it was very, very powerful. Like I said, I mean, I got freaking goosebumps just thinking about the scene in my head. It was a very good scene. For such a short episode, it had so many great scenes in it. I loved it. I thought it was so well done. So, this is what the episode more is all about. The kids of My Hero Academia were forced to grow up fast and carry the fate of the world on their shoulders, both during the battle against All for One and afterward, when they had to live up to the world's expectations. Uraraka has been working relentlessly as a hero and as a quirk counselor for kids, greatly improving the quality of the nation's education system. But what about what she wants? It's been the same for Deku, with the added pressure of having to accept the loss of his power and necessity to refocus his dream. So, I think that was a very beautiful kind of pin to just kind of put there at the end of the series to show that these were a bunch of kids thrown into war, essentially. These kids weren't even, they're not 18-year-old kids. They are teenagers thrown into this war that's basically been waged by adults and pro heroes and stuff. And they grew up in that. I think that was a great thing to go, hey guys, now that things have settled, maybe it's time to do what you want. Like, I know the world is happier now, but are you happy? And that is one of the things. A lot of people kind of get lost in the shuffle and they don't worry about their own stability. So I think it was really cool. Shoto Todoroki's words are essential to understand why MHA writer and artist Koei Hirikoshi decided to add the extra chapter to the series after serialization has concluded. As Todoroki's friends gather to celebrate him becoming the #2 pro hero in Japan, he reflects on how, if he were really part of some grand story shaped by fate and duty, then his choices didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, which would have happened regardless. Shoto quietly reveals to his friends that he's happiest about taking classes in traditional pottery and making chopsticks. There's more to me as a person than just my ambitions, Shoto says. Its concept is a bit hard to grasp until you consider that in the moment, Todoroki is speaking as a character in a fictional work. It's a somber meta-narrative moment that clarifies the purpose of this entire episode. It answers one simple question. What happens to our favorite characters when their stories end? And I did like that aspect with Todoroki, where it wasn't him focused on being a hero. It wasn't him going, oh my God, guys, I'm #2. Look at me. It was him just going, you know what? I've done all this, and I kind of just like chilling and having my hobbies and enjoying my me time. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of people complained about that. And we're like, well, I think, Shoto looks too much like his dad, and Shoto's just, he's not really happy being a hero anymore. I didn't take it that way. I took it as this is someone who basically grew up, again, as a kid in a war. He had the worst upbringing. And at the end of the day, he's like, I don't need the ambition. I just need my hobbies. I just need my hobbies, and that keeps me happy. And that's what I always tell everyone. Like, if you focus so much on your career and just working and grinding and everything else, and you have nothing outside of that that kind of makes you just put you in a happy place, you're going to grow up miserable, and you're going to end up miserable, and you're going to stay miserable. So I always say to people are like, why do you buy all these figures? Why do you collect all this stuff? Why do you play video games? It's a happy place, man. Keeps me happy. I come in this room, dude. This is my happy place. And for Todoroki to end up kind of finding these things that makes him happy is really cool. I like that he was always the level-headed, kind of mature one, right? And obviously we've got Bakugo here, like just angrily chomping away. Great, great depiction of them all. Bakugo hasn't really changed much, and we still love him for it. Okay, but it was really, really cool, and I love what they did. Right now, they have not talked about the other episode that was announced, I don't think. With more blah 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 blah. The final scene of Midoriya and Uraraka grabbing each other's hands as the images of Deku, Shoto, and Bakugo on the billboard over their heads smile and rush away for one last time is nothing short of perfect. If you didn't cry at least a little while watching it, you probably have the heartless quirk. Honestly, like I said, dude, thinking about that scene, I got goosebumps again. A lot of people talk about how that wasn't a romantic thing between Deku and Aravati. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think that was it highlighted how awkward they both were. Okay. And anyone who's had actual interaction with people in person, not on the internet or Twitter or freaking Reddit or whatever, forums that you're in, anyone who's had real interaction with people, and especially people that are nervous, right? From the bump going into Deku and her nervously bumping into him from the push from Toga to the awkward like handshake saying, hey, the hand gripping saying, we want to see more of each other. We want to spend more time with each other. I missed talking with you. All that right there was great. And the beautiful thing about that scene was at the end where you had the billboard with the guys all there, right? You had Bakugo and Todoroki and them going away as they held hands. Kind of showed like we've done our part. Todoroki kind of had his little meaningful conversation about like things that make you happy. Bakugo had his thing about like if someone's special to you, make sure they're special. So like the two of them had their part in it and they went away. Toga played her part in pushing Aravati in her mind and went away and showed her fade away at the end. All of it was absolutely beautifully crafted, and I loved it. I thought it was an amazing ending, and it did. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I had tears. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I've been into this series for over 10 years, 10 years deep. I've loved this show. I've sung its praises. I mean, I'm still repping my toga right now. I'm sad to see it end. But there is another episode coming. Yes, they did announce we are getting another episode. We're going to get a short episode in the summer, I believe. It is going to be called, oh my God, what's it going to be called? I'm a Hero 2, I believe. Yes, it's a short spin-off right here. We're going to go to this real quick. I'm going to talk about this. We're going to go a little longer because I've been talking about My Hero and I'm excited. All right, I'm a dork. So, right here, we're going back to Polygon. My Hero Academia spin-off anime short announced to celebrate franchise's 10th anniversary. I Am a Hero 2 is a new MHA anime short that will follow Erie's escapades in high school. I'm very excited about that. I don't know if anyone else is, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see high school Erie grown up, glow up, whatever you want to call it, right? And they announced this right after the epilogue aired. So we're already going to keep going. I don't want My Hero to end. I want more one shots and movies. Give it to me. Do it. So it'll be titled I'm a Hero 2 and will star Eri, according to the website post announcing. It's based on a one-shot manga drawn by Horikoshi for MHA Ultra Age, which shows Eri, what Eri gets up to after entering high school at the end of the series. While not much else was revealed about I Am a Hero 2's plot, it will presumably follow the story of the one-shot manga fairly closely. For now, the only piece of art that has been revealed has been the logo. So we're going to get an Eri-focused episode, and I'm excited about that. The announcement of I'm a Hero 2 is part of the 10th anniversary celebrations for My Hero Academia as the anime first aired in April of 2016. More, the 171st episode of the anime and special concert featuring the anime's music, headlining events of the anniversary, revealed I'm a Hero 2 gives fans even more to look forward to. No specific date has been announced, but yes, Crunchyroll has been announced, reporting that it's going to be sometime in the summer. So we are going to get more My Hero. We're going to get more Eerie. We're going to get more high school kind of drama. And I'm all for it. Like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe an hour long My Hero catch up thing, maybe once a year we could do. Like release a new short or one shot once a year. Personally, I would love a series about other countries' heroes. Bring us over to America. Show us what America's heroes are. Show us Star and Stripe coming up. The rise of that. Show some of the American heroes. Show Skycrawler when he goes to America, because we know that the crawler from Vigilantes eventually goes to America because he can't become a licensed hero in Japan because of his vigilante work. So he goes to America and becomes the Skycrawler, which we did see at the end in the final episode of My Hero Academia. Um, I wonder if I can pull it up. We did get a look at him in the anime, and of course, I don't see it. I was looking to see if I could find the picture because there is actually a picture in the manga, and they showed him right here in the anime. So I don't want to watch that. I just want to open the image. Yes. So as you can see here, this was actually in the final episode of My Hero Academia. Not the best screen grab, but this is actually the crawler from My Hero Academia Vigilantes. This is all we see of him, but he's now known as Skycrawler. And I wouldn't mind seeing what happens to him after he goes to America, even. So give us some of that. There is so much we could do in the My Hero universe. and I think there's some potential to continue on. But it all depends on what Horikoshi wants to do, and maybe he's going to move on, or maybe if that money keeps coming in, he'll keep going. But that's going to be it for today. I got a little long on the stream here because I got a little excited about My Hero, but that's going to be it for today, guys. I may try to come back on in like an hour and a half ish for a short gaming stream like I did last week. So I didn't stream yesterday, but if not, I will definitely be here on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday for game streams. We're going to be doing more Pragmata and possibly some more NTE because, man, that game is fun. I can show you guys some of the stuff I've been progressing through because I've been playing it a lot. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks to everyone who came in and chatted. Thanks to everyone who came in and lurked. I appreciate the support. Thanks to you guys that watch these VODs afterwards. As always, I'm open to suggestions, guys. If you guys have topics, if you guys have subjects you want to talk about on the chat, on the stream, bring them up. Let's talk about stuff. I'm always looking for suggestions. This week, now that all the nonsense is kind of over, hopefully, in real life, with everything going on with my friend passing and everything like that, we'll get back to normal. I do have a haul video, a small haul video from stuff from Japan I got. I have a large haul video, again, from Big Bad Toy Store. And I have, obviously, Prize Figure Face Off that did not post last week. Is going to go live this week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're going to try to go to possibly 3 videos a week if I can manage it. So that's what to look forward to, I hope. And same thing as usual again, shorts, reels, TikToks every day almost, so 5 days a week. I've been doing some clips as well from gaming streams, having a lot of fun with doing that. They just are very time consuming to do. So I've been trying to get those out a little bit as well. But that is going to be it for today, guys. As always, all the socials are down here. Click the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, spread the nerdiness, as I always say, guys. And don't forget to stop in next week. I don't really know what we're going to cover next week, but hopefully some more nerdy topics pop up next week. Maybe some nerdy drama pops up. We got some cool stuff to talk about. But until then, I'll see y'all next time, guys. Bye, everyone.